Peace, peace, peace. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh shit, it ain't the morning, it's the damn evening. Oh shit, that's the type of video we about to have today, I see. Alright, cool. Well, good evening, it's the Hood Mystic, representing www.hoodmystic.com. Just want to keep this thing consistent. We got a new moon coming this Wednesday. I'm going to be talking about this new moon a lot. I'm going to be live on Sister Queen's Radio, Ring and Stone Network, talking about it. But I wanted to kind of give my channel and people that's kind of keeping up with this energy a kind of like a checkup. You know, if you're new to my channel, new to what we got going here, we do a lot of videos where we talk about astrology, spirituality, psychology, and just bringing it to the forefront, man. So I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody is learning and dealing with this energy, because, you know, my wife went out last night and she was telling me about like the stories that her girlfriends had, and I was just like, damn, you know, relationships is crazy, and it ain't always the men that's, you know, on the dog side. So if we're not, you know, I don't know, it's just a lot when it comes to relationships. And so that's not what we're going to be talking about exclusively today. Today we're going to be talking about mental power and really this new moon, and really setting the seeds, really setting the intentions and the light that's shining on the intentions, that little light, you know, generally throughout the moon cycle, it shines lights on different things that you can plant. Just like you can't plant certain crops and vegetables all year long. Certain plants you can only plant at a certain point in time based upon the moon. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. Like, what is the moon speaking to? When we have full moons and new moons, generally these are points, like snapshots, that we can kind of dive in and really focus on the aspects. We can do this every day, which we do on this channel, but we can actually take these new moons and full moons and really dive in and really focus. Because what's happening is that the moon and the sun are conjuncting, and they're creating an energy. And so for the most part, it's a feminine energy, and feminine is not always female. Feminine can also represent your passive or your energetic or your, you know, wide array of different ways to manifest things by tapping into your feminine energy, allowing things to come to you, as opposed to the masculine energy where we're going to get it. Sometimes you can just things can come to you, and so we want to work with these full moons. We want to understand these full moons on a deep psychological level. Just like this last new moon, which happened in Libra. It was on the 15-degree mark in Libra, and that's dead center. This new moon is actually going to be at the 15-degree mark of Scorpio, which is dead center. And so you have to deal with the balance of all of Scorpio with this new moon and all of the energy. And so when we talk about Scorpio, we're talking about changes. We're talking about realizing our lives in a different way, really shifting our energy, really shifting our focus. And so in order to shift, and you think about it, if Scorpio is a water sign and we're dealing with a water sign, so you're dealing with yourself in a water sign. So I like to imagine it as, you being in the ocean, and generally, if you are docked on the ocean and, a tide comes and certain boats or certain things might get washed ashore, might get washed away by a strong tide. But the boats that don't get washed away are the boats that are anchored. And you cannot anchor yourself in shallow water. You have to anchor yourself deep, deep, deep down to the bottom. So therefore, when something happens, you're not easily moved. And so this is different from how people may value themselves. Like, oh, I look good. Oh, I got a lot of money. Oh, I got a good job, etc., etc. And then there are people that have been developing their craft, developing their talent, developing their skill, trying to create an edge, like working hard on themselves, and maybe they have sacrificed their surface because what was within them is more important. So with this new moon, you'll be dealing with a month from now, we'll be dealing with people who did not do this work, and them dealing with the consequences of not dealing with this work. And then a month from now, we'll have people dealing with the rewards or the benefits of doing the deep work, really utilizing their mind, really anchoring themselves in a particular idea. And when we think about ships, we think about relationships, and generally, when you have a ship, it's generally not just you on the boat, especially like a big ship. If you have a yacht, generally it's you and your wife, or you and your family. So understanding this relationship and who's all on the boat and what this boat is anchored in is very important, because generally you will have people on the boat and they all have different ideologies, and then the storm comes and then everybody's jumping off the boats and switching sides, because nobody expected to even move in a particular direction. They just wanted to stay in a safe zone. But this is a ship, and Scorpio is bringing that tide, is bringing that ship, and is bringing the movement. The Orisha of Scorpio is Oya, and if you know anything about Oya, it's all about thunderstorms, it's all about wind, it's all about obliteration of earth. Not for the sake of destruction, but for the sake of new energy to come. And if you look down in Florida and Texas and in the Gulf, in Mexico and in Hawaii and California, all of that represents Scorpio. All of that represents Oya. And it's like deep, drastic change. And it's not like, could you please move to the side? Please, I'm coming through. It's like, if you there, you getting blown the fuck over. So, really understanding that these shifts are coming, and what are you going to do about it is one of the keys. So I generally do that with these new moons. I be having a whole slideshow to get to, but I get into talking and then I forget everything that I'm about to talk about. So just looking at this map, there is no real transits to the new moon. Especially the main transit to this new moon is actually this trine to Neptune, which is a major transit. Like I said, when we're talking about new moons and how, you know, every day there's different aspects, but then when the moon conjuncts the sun and then that creates a different aspect, then that is something to take note of. That's something to study. That's something to prepare for. To know that this new moon will be trying Neptune is something to take note of, because that represents a level of clarity. That represents a level of leveling up, in a sense. And it's not just like you're gonna stay in the same space. Like, if you do the work for this new moon, if you set the intentions for this new moon, then you are going to change your life. You're going to change some stuff about you. If you don't do the work, if you just waiting for this passive change to happen, then, you know, this talk really isn't for you. There's plenty of people talking about astrology in a sense where it's just gonna wash over your life and make everything better, but that's not the conversations. And then in the context of relationships, we really want to take a look at this. We really want to understand our relationships. Like, are we tolerating this person that we are with, or are we supporting this person? Are we deeply devoted and deeply aligned with this person, or are we simply like, you know what, this person is cool, I like this person, but we talking about spending the rest of our lives with, or doing some business with somebody, and you not all the way supporting them, or they not all the way supporting you. You know, this is something that most people never get to experience. So as Scorpio comes along, the drastic difference of being with somebody that really excites your soul, and feeling that and experiencing that, and then having the contrast of dealing with somebody that you simply tolerate, somebody that you simply accept on a certain level because they're paying your rent, or some surface level connection, but that deep Scorpio connection is not there, then you're gonna have to really do some soul searching. And don't wait for this shit to happen. If you feel the vibration, then act on it. I was having a conversation earlier where, you know, in the realms of intuition, right? Like having intuitive thought. Like the first place that intuition shows up is in your relationship. And if you have an intuitive feeling not to be in this relationship and you deny it, then how do you expect intuition to play out further in your development if you're not even listening to it at the most basic level? When you sleep next to somebody and your energy is just open, and then you're sleeping next to the enemy, and then your intuition is saying like, no, don't be in that relationship, you know. Something that a lot of people are dealing with, you know, and I'm not going to say like, you know, my relationship is perfect. No, I'm not going to say that. Like, my relationship is not perfect, and the issues that I'm having, I'm able to talk about it, you know, and the issues that my wife is having, I'm hoping that she can talk about it too. But, you know, this Venus retrograde and all of these new moons and all of these things put together is doing a doozy on relationships. And if you act for a moment like, you know, this shit don't apply to me, you know, my relationship is sweet hood mystic, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. Like, you know, maybe somebody close to you is going through some shit that really needs your help. And if you think that relationships is something to kind of gloss over, or even the lack of relationships, like, you know, something to gloss over, like, then you're not really willing to do the work, because this is how you do the work. You don't do the work by staying within yourself, talking to yourself in the mirror, pumping yourself up, doing affirmations. I am God. I am great. I am wealthy. I am beautiful. You could do that till the cows come gray. But when a person get in front of you and show you your reflection, can you handle that? You know, a lot of people cannot handle that, and so they hide in the realms of consciousness, psychic, astrology, etc., etc., etc. So, you know, if you can't handle that reflection, then there is still work that you need to do within you. Your anchor is not sunk deep enough into the ocean to give you that support. And so that's okay. Just keep lowering that anchor. All right. and really understand like some things about your development. And the relationship piece, like say for instance you're serious about this consciousness, and this consciousness really speaks to you, but your wife or your husband or your significant other is telling you, you better put that weird ass shit to the back burner if you want to be with me. And then you thinking like, well, I love this person, and this conscious shit is just, you know, this weird nigga talking on YouTube. So, of course, I'll throw that shit to the back burner. Of course, I'll listen to you, baby. But the reality is, it ain't about me. I'm just really giving you the tools as I see fit, is to wake up and awaken your relationship to yourself, and shouldn't nobody come in between that. You understand? Not even your wife, not even your husband, not even your significant other. You know, this is a personal journey. And a lot of times our relationships are the things that stand in the middle of that. And so the new moon trine Neptune, when we talk about mental power, when we talk about developing intuition, it starts at home. It starts at the root of stuff. Now, do you think that you have to save up your money and get a $5,000 retreat with Tony Robbins to be healed? Do you think that you need to save up your money and get $5,000 to go to Peru on a retreat and do some ayahuasca? Or do you think that this shit starts at home, and the shit that you avoiding, the shit that you putting off, the shit that, you know, blocks your clarity, your distractions, the fact that we just want to play video games all day or watch TV or just be on Instagram or Plenty of Fish and just looking for a bae? Like, this is the shit that we do, or we'll work ourselves to death, and we never really get that clarity. And without that clarity, you don't have mental power. You can't just be thinking that, you know, this mental power is found in the external world. This mental power is found by digging deep into yourself. And digging deep into yourself is having that clarity. And having that clarity is not enough. You have to act on this clarity. This shit requires development. And, you know, the fact that this is in Scorpio, the fact that this is in a water sign, you know, you can rest assured in that, being that you can just relax. Because if you haven't been doing work up to this point and you dealing with Scorpio and the shit is just hitting the fan like it's hitting the fan, there's nothing you can do about it anyway, big dog. So just relax and just float until somebody come pick you up, you know, throw you a life jacket. But if you are willing to do the work, if you are in a position to make intentions, if you have been dealing with this energy, if we discussed this new moon in Libra and we fine-tuned our relationships and we really looked in the core of our relationships, we dealt with some shit, we know what we need, we know what we want, we know what we desire. Okay, now let's do some work. Because this new moon is actually going to be a part of the Vishaka Nakshatra. You know, Nakshatra is a Vedic thought. Every moon sign relates to a particular nakshatra. To explain it in a simple way, that like is a very simple way to explain it, a nakshatra is a moon day. The same way that our days are ran by the sun, like when the sun sets and when the sun rises, we determine our days. A nakshatra is ruled by the moon. It's the other side, but it's an ancient way of thinking. If you need more information or more details on this nakshatra, make sure you visit this article. The link is in the description. But ultimately, when working with the moon, they're called lunar mansions, meaning that, you know, at any point in time, we can begin to work with different parts of the moon, but we just choose not to. You know, this particular point that I wanted to bring it into consciousness is because this is called the star of purpose, the Vishaka Nakshatra. And so when we live in for purpose and we know that we can achieve some things and we have our goals and we know we about to achieve our goals and we have this deep ambition and we ready for this victory, then we are making them steps, we making them moves. But then it's people who not really thinking on that level. They consciously doing the wrong thing every day. But do you think that these people in doing the wrong thing, and even myself, and I'm not judging, I'm just basically saying, when we do wrong, when we live outside of our moral compass, when we live outside of our truth, we need to know that we are going to deal with whatever comes with that. We can't be doing bad and expecting good. That's just what the star says, you know, the ends justifying the means. And it's so many people that I know that live that way, that, you know, since I've accomplished this, then that makes it okay. And then they go on and on and on and on in life. And then the shit really hits the fan. And then it's like, damn, I don't want to be trading places with you, bro. And then it may become a point in time where you are looking up to people who are making bad decisions. And this could be you. This could be somebody that you're looking at. You seeing them making these bad decisions, and you wondering like, man, when is this, like, how is this even happening? And then boom, you see that shit hit the fan, and then it's like, okay, now I know. You know, sometimes karma takes a long time, but that doesn't mean that it don't exist. So if it's something that you want, something that you're personally in tune to, make sure you have that in mind when working with this new moon. Make sure you have it in mind, because it ain't about you not doing the work and hoping that things work out for you, because that shit is dead. You know, it's a lot of people who just like, you know, I don't feel like doing any work. It just comes easily. It's all in my mind, you know. That's cool, but when it comes to like making moves or doing business, I don't want to be around nobody like that. When it comes to developing a close relationship with somebody and they like, you know, I don't gotta put any effort into this shit because it's all in my mind. I have to kind of take a step back from that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm down to put effort into this whole relationship. I'm down to talk and get to the bottom of everything. But if you gonna sit here and tell me that how you think is supreme and you not even gonna factor in my effort, you know, and that gives you an excuse to kind of take a step back, then I just gotta, that's cool. I just realized that shit at this point. So, you know, paying attention to shit, understanding shit at a deep level is what this new moon in Scorpio is about. When we talk about Scorpio, we talking about some deep shit, you know, because my children, they were born in July and August, meaning that when they were consummated, it was in Scorpio season. My wife presently is a Scorpio, you know, so it's like, I understand this Scorpio energy, and when me and my wife met, it was beyond surface level, and it wasn't never no situation where like I would have judged her or she would have judged me or we would have given up on each other or we would have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's deeper than that when you have a soulmate. And I can't never say that I would have gotten a soulmate if I haven't developed that part of me that created that space for her to walk right into. And so this is what this new moon is about. Like, a lot of us want love. A lot of us want pleasure. A lot of us want love. But do we even have space for it? Like, you work, you got kids, and then when you ain't doing that, you watching this, that, and the third, or doing this, that, and the third. You got a side hustle you be doing. But then it's like, all right, cultivate a real romantic personal relationship. I don't have the time. Okay, you don't have the time to cultivate a personal relationship, but you have time to do what? Work and, you know, do this and, you know, go out and, you know, all this other shit that ain't going to give you nothing of which is going to sustain you at a core level, at a pleasure level. Because trust me, you say you working for whatever, but when you get paid and you got to pay them bills, that ain't pleasure. That's the opposite of pleasure. That is pain. That is pain. So if your priorities are towards, and trust me, it was a hard decision. It's always a hard decision to turn away from employment, or to turn away from love, or to turn away from any situation that's toxic. You know it's toxic if it's hard to break away from it. You know your relationship ain't toxic if you could just walk away from it at any given point and it's still love. Like, that's deep. Because me and my wife, we have talks all the time where it's like, I know for a fact that she'll tell me, like, I know for a fact that there'll be times where you're not going to be around me and the kids. And I got to be okay with that. So I prepare myself. This is what she tells me. I prepare myself for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real. As opposed to a woman who is not my soulmate, who just want me to be who she want me to be. You know, really seeing somebody for who they are and supporting that and finding passion in that, as opposed to just dealing with somebody like, man, you know what, you cool, you decent, you alright, you okay, but y'all ain't supporting each other or building each other up. That's not pleasure. You know, the Six of Cups is really finding that joy and that pleasure, and so many people just don't give a fuck about that shit. And then they want to worry about, you know, like, you know, why my life ain't right. Or, you know, like, I'm in a relationship, but he cool. But I ain't talking about that. I don't want to talk about him. I want to talk about, I want to be happy. All right. But you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is crazy when you really think about it. And people want to skip it and overlook it in this social media age, thinking that everybody can do it by themselves. You know, ain't nobody out here really doing it by themselves if they actually doing anything of note. Somebody got to be supporting them. Somebody got to be buying something from them. Somebody got to be in their back corner. Somebody got to be security. Shit. You can't, like, somebody got to know something about something to be helping people out. And maybe you see one name, but just because you see one name don't mean that that one name ain't got multiple people and multiple names and energies behind it. We've been dealing with a lot of things in our daily energy readings where it's all about understanding institutions and corporations and politics. Like, these ain't no big bad beast. These is normal people like me and you. The only difference between politicians, institutions, and corporations is that they all got the same thing in mind. They all got the same purpose. The only problem with us is we got a million different purposes and different ways that we can do some shit, and ain't nobody coming together. We don't need a lot of people to come together and have the same idea. We just probably need 10 decent motherfuckers. We could change this whole goddamn planet. But that's one of the most psychological beatdowns our people have ever gotten. The idea that we could do this shit by ourselves. So, understanding the deeper shit is really key in understanding this new moon. The Orisha of the week is we're revisiting an old Orisha or old energy, because that's what I've been doing recently. No sense in like trying to uncover and explore some, you know, extreme shit. Like, let's revisit some stuff that we touched on, just in case we forgot. Oya and Shango represent a culmination of energy, that masculine and feminine principle, based on the fact that this falls in. So imagine, right, we have a sun and a moon, like masculine and feminine, coming together in Scorpio at 15 degrees. 15 degrees, if you don't know, is the middle point of 30 degrees. So you have masculine and feminine sitting together in the middle of Scorpio, in the middle of change, and I'll be damned if I go into war with somebody that don't have my back for real, son. Like, you crazy. In a relationship, like, how I can't even really plan with nobody if you ain't got nobody solid in your back. You know, like, that's kind of crazy. My wife is way too down for me to even take shorts. And my friends, like, I couldn't even be friends with a nigga if his wife treated him like shit. Like, it's something that I can't tolerate any longer. And y'all gotta blame my wife for treating me this good and for showing me. And just like everything that I say, everything, like, I talk a lot, but it ain't just me. Like, everything that I experience, everything that I say, like, it's me and her. She don't gotta talk. Like, she do enough. You know, spiritually, like my wife is so powerful that she never would ever have to speak. And she could already communicate with me on a different level. And so this is how we rock. This is how we grow together. Like, I would want that for all of my friends. And if you got somebody in your life that's leeching you, hurting you, making you feel bad, you come into the party with this, man, I was that dude. Coming to the party with the frown. Like, what's wrong, Jim? Oh, my wife treated me like shit again. I can't enjoy myself tonight. I'ma just sit here and play text tag with her all night. Bruh, you could have stayed at home for all of this. Like, you ruining our vibe, you know? Like, shit. So, ain't no sense to be in shit where you tolerating and you not fully supporting. And you may not even see it until you start developing yourself spiritually. All of a sudden, you listening to the Hood Mystic. Now you looking at your wife or husband differently. And it ain't me, it's your spirit. So, I mean, your significant other, he gonna be like, you know, cut that nigga off, you know, and you'll listen to him. But trust me, I don't have no agenda in breaking relationships up. I just want you to be in a relationship that speaks to your soul and not your surface area. This is some real shit, man. This is what I cannot ignore this shit. Like, I can't ignore this shit, nor can I act like what I was talking about previously. Like, if you was to have the courage to listen to the new moon in Libra, the ancestral fortnight, followed by the full moon in Aries, and now we in the new moon in Scorpio, and just peep that trilogy of this energy and really see how it's playing out in your life. And maybe it's not playing out in your life. You like some ill-type alien that don't have no relationships, got all the money in the world, and can teleport and do magic tricks, and your psychology is perfect. You ain't got no trauma. You done shielded yourself from all monsters and predators, and everything about your existence is perfect. Please hit me in the Gmail and give me some tools so I can begin to speak to these people, because, you know, where I'm at right now is like, if we don't begin to heal ourselves psychologically, then we're not healing each other at all. So I just want to close this video out with this quote, man, because, you know, this is what I'm trying to do, and this is what I'm trying to speak to. Really developing yourself from the inside out. I mean, like, it ain't about being cute and being beautiful when you talking about this astrology and this consciousness, man. I mean, even if you get to that point, even if you already are, it don't really matter. What really matters is you understanding your clarity and your intuition, and learning when to listen to it and how to listen to it, and separating it from the mental illness, right? The schizophrenia or the anxiety that speaks to you in the context of fear. And it's hard to differentiate between intuition and pure psychosis. So if it's hard to get to that point, and you in a relationship that's constantly triggering that psychosis because you with somebody that you simply tolerate, like maybe he ain't punching you in the face, maybe he ain't stealing money out your purse, but at a spiritual level, it's worse. It's worse. So You know, it's some girls on a spiritual level that stole a couple dollars from me that, man, that shit is cool, man. Bygones is bygones. I don't care about that $20. We can still be cool, you know, but because it's that spiritual connection that you might have missed out on, but that was a joke. Yeah, let's dive deep, man. Let's really get into what's important to us, really understand our pleasure and how it shows up and how we can deal with our reflections. New moon in Scorpio is serious business, bruh. It ain't nothing to play with, man. It ain't nothing to play with. Because just the idea of Scorpio, astrologically, it deals with a level of, like, malevolent stars in the solar system that show up in, like, key points of, like, tragic events. Like, oh, a planet was conjunct in Scorpio. Like, so Scorpio has got a bad reputation, you know. Oya has a bad reputation, like, but it's ultimately a transition, and I feel that it gets a bad reputation because people are afraid of change. So, you know, welcome change in, allow change to be the center of your life, and nothing will ever go wrong. You will have a perfect, blissful life if change is normal and supreme. But if you're trying to capture and hold everything near and dear to you and hopefully that it stays the same, you in a lot of trouble. If you want that relationship to be everything that is not, you in a lot of trouble. So, you know, I hope this message resonated. I hope this message made sense. Like always, there is an article. The link to that article is in the description. So even if you don't want to read the damn article, just click the damn link for your boy. Help a brother get his stats up, you know, to donate to my content. Man, I've been working all week like crazy, still doing these daily energy readings, still doing readings in my spare time, still typing up reports for people. Like, I don't know where I get all this time from, but man, if you appreciate the shit that I've been doing, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as this content, as far as this mission, and it's like, you know, if this shit resonated with you, right, and it's like, damn, that shit was powerful, that shit meant something to me. Trust and believe that it didn't come easy. It was a lot of sacrifices that, you know, I kind of put to the side just so I can bring this message, because I feel like this message is needed. So to support my channel, to support my content, I'm not asking for a lot, but if it moves you, please feel free to do so. The links are in the description as well, whether that's Patreon, whether that's through PayPal, whether that's through Cash App. Just, you know, I'm really working hard, bro, and that's cool, because I'd rather work hard than be idle and sitting back watching TV, chilling, you know what I'm saying, flicking the remote, because I could do that shit, you know what I'm saying, but I just choose to work, you know what I'm saying, I just choose to be the servant, you know, I just choose to serve the people, because ain't nobody talking about this shit right now. I feel like don't nobody give a fuck for real, you know what I'm saying. Everybody out here just crash dummies, and you know, I feel like we need to really save ourselves at this point. So hope this message resonated with you. If not, you know, it ain't cost you no money to listen to this. If anything, man, if you can't donate, you can't support, because times is hard, I do understand that. Could you please, 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 with all my might, everybody on this live, click that little button below that says share, and just share this video on your social media, whether it be Twitter, Facebook. Man, that shit take 4 seconds to do. Please just click share it to your social media. I really appreciate it. But with that being said, man, I'm the Hood Mystic signing out. Peace and love from my family to yours. I got the Mike Tyson hoodie. This is some exclusive shit. You know what I'm saying? The link is in the description. Merchandise. You ain't gonna see this art nowhere. The art is some stuff that I've been doing, like on the personal side, high resolution, just different shit, man. If you haven't checked the site out yet, make sure you check it out. It's the Colombian Exchange Group. That's my little clothing venture that I've been kind of dabbling with. I haven't really took it big. I'm still kind of working out the kinks, still learning, but I've been doing well with it. Getting a lot of support. I just really appreciate the family for like buying the hats and stuff like that. You know, this shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because my wife knows I sat and talked about this shit forever. You know what I'm saying? And to finally do it, finally, you know, doing it, and now like, okay, this is how we gonna do it though. You know, that shit is amazing. So if you got any ideas, anything you've been working towards, man, do that shit. Like, do that shit. Like, that's the shit that's gonna save you. Anything else, you know, everything that you chasing outside of yourself, you wasting time. We all got ideas, dreams, aspirations just bubbling within us, and we not following that shit. So hope this message resonated, man. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.